Yo, Hunter, my name's Brian. I want to save you $200,000 on your insurance.
I'd bring in twice as many leads as them because I'd get a no and I'd say, this is my fault I got the no. How do I get a yes next time?
You mentioned you were in high school. You got your agency going. What's the story behind that?
Just got my insurance license in high school. I started the corporation in high school, and then I was pretty much ready to just go out and start door knocking.
So people have a high school kid knock on their door and say, I want to give you an insurance proposal?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you've got a lot of chutzpah here, my friend. YouTube star, trucking insurance expert, my man right here started his agency in high school. What's your excuse? Hunter Nelson, good to have you here, buddy.
Hey, appreciate it. Good to be on here.
So, okay, we were just chatting beforehand. You mentioned you were in high school when you got your agency going. What's the story behind that?
Oh, well, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do in high school, and I changed my mind a couple times, and by the time my senior year came around, I was like, all right, I'm going to do insurance. My dad was a captive agent. And so started studying for my insurance license, got my insurance license in high school, and started the corporation in high school. And then by the time I graduated, I was pretty much ready to just go out and start door knocking. So I hired a couple of my buddies just for the summer, and we all went door knocking, gathered up probably 500 leads of high net worth home and auto, and that was about it. That was the summer getting started there.
So wait, is this the summer after you graduated from high school?
Right after I graduated,
Oh my goodness. Yeah. That is called being industrious. So you started off looking at home and auto with your friends.
Yep.
So people have a high school kid knock on their door and say, I want to give you an insurance proposal?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you've got a lot of chutzpah here, my friend. So when did you say home and auto is great, but I want to look at trucking more in depth? Because you got trucking gear all over you right now. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was actually, I got to give a shout out to Cameron Brown. He's with Independent Insurance Brokers of Arizona. He was on like a podcast or an interview or something. And, me being brand new, him talking about niching down being one of the best things you could do was kind of like, holy crap, I should do that. So I was trying to figure out what my niche was. So I was going to do contractors, did that for about 3 to 6 months or so. And then my dad had a trucking company. I'm like, well, I know this really well too. Let's do trucking. And then done that for the last 2.5-ish years. And but yeah, just been sticking to it.
So your dad not only was a captive agent, but he also owned a trucking company.
He did, yeah.
So now it's making a little more sense. You didn't randomly get into trucking because trucking's pretty is specific. There's all these rules.
Yeah.
But then you had someone who could help walk you through and friends in that industry.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
So I am now officially an old man. We're sitting here chatting. We hung out the last couple of days at Agent Underground.
Yep.
And then I said, when did you start your agency? 2022. I said, wait, how old are you? You said 21 years old. I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to order a casket. I need to get my AARP card. Hunter, you're making me feel old. You are only 8 years older than my daughter. That is wild. So I have to say, what you've done is pretty incredible. I mean, you've built an agency that has a lot of trucking markets and you have expertise. Walk us through the journey of building your agency and how you've become like a trucking specific kind of expert agency.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to keep this not too long here. So I mean, starting off, I did get a couple appointments with Microsoft. So I got Stillwater, American Modern, Progressive for home and auto. Just got those guys grinded out, home and auto. And after about 6 months or so, had some all right premium, started working with Travelers, probably brought on maybe like one other carrier. I think I brought on a little Farm Mutual. And those were my carriers for home and auto for about the first year. And then we later brought on a couple others. When it came to trucking, it was basically just started off with Progressive. I had Midwest Family Mutual because they do high net worth home and auto. They would do commercial. And it's like I was doing commercial too before I did trucking. And so I had Midwest Family Mutual and Progressive. Had to fight like a dog to get Cover Whale. I probably called their office once a week for 6 months. Finally got them. And then that was basically it for markets. That was basically all I had there. Tried working with Amwins, RPS. Wasn't having any luck just because it's all about the broker that you're getting. I had no premium with them. Well, so for the first year, it was really, really, really tough. Had no appointments hardly. Then it was basically we just had our first renewal with these guys. So last year we brought on Berkshire, Nirvana, Geico, brought on a really hard hitter for us that's been really, really good. Brought in 2 programs, Open Eyes, who loves fleet. And brought in a good couple programs where they're through an MGA, but like they got systems where you can go quote them basically right away. And then I started talking to a ton of other trucking insurance agents, and everybody's like, you got to go to MCIF, Motor Carrier Insurance Education Foundation. So I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So I go, bring 2 of my agents, and it was awesome. I walked away 2 appointments. I walked away with the 2 best underwriters I've ever had in my life. I mean, this gal, Chris Feder, I got to give a shout to her at RPS. She turns around quotes for me, and she'll do it in an hour sometimes. Whereas at Amwins, what the other underwriters have had, it used to take me maybe 3 weeks. And I'd go get 4 quotes done in a couple hours. She was killer, but at the same time, I got to be sending good submissions, binding the submission that I send to her. But I mean, that's been a huge help because we'll bind stuff through her fairly often. So you can go pick up another 7 markets through RPS, and yeah, so now we're sitting pretty dang good. Got some good MGAs, which providing 15-ish or so markets, even just for non-fleet. When it comes to fleet, get a lot more. And then I don't know, we're probably about 10 direct.
Wow.
So, but the first years were tough.
So do you have like a specific type of trucker you focus on? Like, hey, we want a trucking company within the Midwest that has under 10 units. Do you do everything? It sounds like you're pretty specific in what you're looking for. What does that look like typically?
Well, it's tough to really niche down on that. I'd say typically we're doing your agricultural haulers. We see that a lot. Livestock, grain and feed, and then reefers and dry van. Seeing that very often. We are not doing any hazmat hardly. No hazmat, no intermodal. We have the opportunity to do it. I think we have a couple accounts on the books, but we're not trying to do it if we don't have to. And then, for states, I mean, we're licensed in all. I'm licensed in about 40 so states, but I want to stay away from the upper Northeast. I do not like California. Do not like Florida. You get in those states, it's a nightmare. You've got New Jersey up there requiring $1.5 million for auto liability. Not even everybody's even offering that.
Wow.
So it gets to be really tough. You get a lot of people complaining because rates are just incredibly expensive.
Well, this is an insurance dork question between you and I, but if New Jersey says 1.5, do the carriers do that just as an underlying limit, or do you have to buy that extra $500,000 as an umbrella?
Well, yeah, I mean, you could have to do it as an umbrella, but some of these carriers will do $2 million as well. Okay. Like Progressive will, but Geico won't.
Huh.
So
okay, we got my homeboy Sean here pulled up a map for us of the Midwest.
Yep.
And I'm looking at so we have South Dakota here and the Midwest. Are you in the bottom right-hand side of South Dakota? Why do I think that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we got this is a geography quiz right now for me. So we got Sioux Falls, which is basically right on the border of Minnesota and Iowa.
Yeah.
You guys like throw a rock over the border. You're like right there. So you have Minnesota, Iowa, and then Nebraska has to be an hour or 2 south.
Yep.
So I would assume that anybody you're talking to has to have some kind of multi-state or long-haul type of capability because you're immediately leaving the state, right? I mean, if your truckers are going anywhere, they're leaving the state.
Yep. I mean, most of our guys are long haul. We're cold calling off of CAB, Central Analysis Bureau. And for you to have that information to see the insurance information, they have to be a interstate motor carrier for them to have their federal filings being posted. And so, like, most of our guys are long haul to make them, federal filings required. So we get that. We get some guys calling in, locally from Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota, where they're staying in state. Then I get to ask their policy numbers and get lost ones that way because there's no filings usually. But Yeah, I mean South Dakota, North Dakota, all those states right there are Iowa, Nebraska, really small on trucking. You get into Illinois, there's a lot of truckers there. Indiana's a decent amount, but I mean, it really follows the population. The Midwest is very, very not popular for trucking, I'd say.
Would you say that kind of that Chicago area, like a lot of trucking feeds in there because of the big
100%.
population base? Okay.
Yeah.
How about the Twin Cities? I feel like there has to be something going on there.
There's a little more. To give you kind of an idea, like you get into South Dakota, if I go look in cab, there's 16,000 motor carriers. That means there's 16,000 trucking companies or any company that has a federal filing. You get into Minnesota, you're looking about 120. Illinois, I think it's like, I might even be a little high in Minnesota, but it's probably like 100 and some. But now you get into California, it's like 450. Florida's like 300 some. Texas is like 270. So you get into those states, that's where you'll go find a trucking insurance agency like every block. But in here, I mean, you go to Minnesota, there's like two big names who dominate the whole space. Yeah, same thing kind of goes in South Dakota too.
So do you start running into the same competitors after a while?
100%. I know almost every competitor in the states around us.
Hunter, you were like Luke Skywalker fighting the Death Star, building this agency brick by brick.
Yeah.
I love it. I have to tell you that our agency we haven't done a lot of long haul trucking.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have some regional stuff, but as I'm looking at, this is what I love about this industry, is I'm looking at this map and I'm realizing if you were to drive 10 hours in any way or 5, you're in a bunch of different states, you're getting closer to some big regional areas, some metropolitan areas. Idaho's pretty removed. We're 6 hours from Salt Lake. We're 8 hours from Portland, 8 hours from Seattle. So it's a long drive in order to get anywhere else. So do you see yourself staying home base South Dakota? Do you like that area? Do you want to, do you have any plans to be in other states in the future? What are your goals long term?
That's a good question. We're definitely riding other states by all means. A lot with trucking, a lot of it you just do the deal over the phone. We don't have anybody come in ever. But I like South Dakota because you got to think about it in the aspect too of what are the carriers going to look like? Because nobody's in South Dakota, so you might be able to get some better carrier options there because they want to grow on that side. Granted though, you get some of the regionals. South Dakota's, is the home base for like Great West, Acuity Auto Owners, all that stuff. But, there's that opportunity. So I don't know. I think we'll probably stay in South Dakota for a good couple of years here. If anything, maybe Minnesota for just some other carrier options. Yep.
So does it help from a trucking standpoint, is it all about getting the volume and then you get the carriers?
It's crazy. I think when it comes to carriers, there's kind of 4 sections to it. You've got your beginner carriers, you've got your regionals, your MGAs, and you've got your long-term carriers. When it comes to beginner, you're talking Progressive, Geico, Cover Whale, Berkshire, the main guys. MGAs, you're going to be able to get 95% of any MGA you want for trucking with no problem whatsoever. There are going to be a couple like QEO, FLPM, who have really good programs, and they're going to require you to have $5-10 million of trucking business on the books to get a conversation going. But mostly MGAs will be pretty easy, and MGAs are going to have like the same 7 carriers, I think.
Okay,
or they're going to at least have the same 7 carriers. You got Canal, IET, Northland, BSB, Crum and Forrester, Nirvana, and Nyco.
Okay,
I think I just named more than 7, but it was like
I know that was close.
Yeah, something like that. So those are the main guys there. And then you got your regionals. Your regionals are going to be wanting like regional trucking too.
Okay.
So like you get Acuity. Acuity wants trucking within a 600-mile radius.
Right.
You get Midwest and Mutual, 750-mile radius. Secura does trucking. They're not in South Dakota, but I think I also see them on regional stuff. You've got Continental Western Group, CWG. They want 300 miles or less. You've got West Bend, Auto Owners. All those guys are regional companies that it might be a lot easier to get than your typical trucking insurance appointment. Because you get auto owners, if you got $5 million in a commercial, Oh yeah, yeah. We'll bring you on for that aspect, but then you just get the trucking appointment with it too. You know.
So Auto Owners has a trucking arm?
They do. Yeah,
Really?
a lot of people don't even realize that like Auto Owners, CWG, Acuity have trucking appetites.
Well, oops, I got a call here. I actually did know that Acuity has trucking, but only because my homeboy Corey Kelly, who is a new business extraordinaire for us,
Yeah.
he did trucking back in the day for Acuity. And he talked about how, like, when you're in the Midwest doing trucking accounts, those premiums are pretty high.
100%.
You know, big fleets, it's expensive. There's a lot of damage that can happen. So,
Yeah.
the again, back with Idaho, if you look at the radius, Acuity's radius excludes Boise from getting to other metropolitan areas some of the time.
Gotcha.
So again, I'm not an expert on that, but I think that unless you dive into that long haul space, it's hard to really start expanding and having options for some of those trucking companies.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some of it you're just gonna have to use those MGAs and regionals to get to your long term guys. Because I think some of the guys in trucking are the hardest appointments to get out there. I mean, you go look at like Century, they have 68 trucking agents in the nation.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy. Or like Protective, you ever heard of
No.
them? They have 45 agents, not agencies, 45 agents appointed in the nation. And they appoint an individual agent per agency.
Right.
And so it's just nuts to get some of those appointments.
Isn't that what Great West does? They do an agent, not an agency.
That I could tell you. I think they
Okay.
do an agency because our competitor right across the street, everybody there is riding Great West.
Well, I wanted to say somebody told me that years ago, but I think it's one of those things where you can say you have an agent, but then it kind of bleeds into the other agents because, you know, you're the same account manager works with two producers or whatever.
Yeah.
So it kind of morphs a little over time. But it sounds like Century, Protective, and Great West are kind of the elite, some of the harder to get trucking markets.
There's a lot of them out there too. You got DMC, you've got Lancer, National Interstate is killer, but all of them are, you know, most of them are going to tell you, hey, we want at least $5 million or $5 to $10 million of trucking premium on the books. And even if you got $10 million of trucking premium on the books, most of them might not even talk to you.
Gracious.
Yeah.
Okay. So $1 million with trucking is like rock bottom. That's not even going to get you off the ground with most of those big places.
Fortunately not, no.
Okay. Dang. Okay. So do you think that without having people who in your family or relationally that know about the trucking industry, most agents could jump into it? Or is there too much with filings and MCS stuff or whatever else for most agents to break through?
I mean, we've taught people at our agency, people who don't even own insurance, from scratch. But I actually get a lot of agents calling me with questions from like the YouTube channel and stuff. And yeah, you do have to be very, very careful on it because people do go write a policy. I'm like, oh, I don't even think you realize the mistake you just made on that. You know, with the filings, if they're not done right away, you can cost the trucking company their authority. And without their authority, they can't haul. And if they go get it back, they go get it reinstated. They might have 10 years of history on there, which gives them good relationship with the brokers and everything. But if they have to have it reinstated, they'll go back to like a year one, it'd be like a new venture. Well, now you're going to go back to lower paying loads, brokers not wanting to work with you, all sorts of different things. It can shut down the business just by you not doing a filing. And so I think if you're going to get into trucking, you have to go check out MCIEF or you have to have another agent who knows what they're doing, helping you throughout the process.
Right.
But there's designations, certificates, whatever you want to call them, through MCIEF that you can get in a couple weeks that are going to teach you everything about that stuff.
Okay.
Yep.
So we just got done hanging out with a bunch of agents and some, carriers. One of them was the MGA First.
Yes.
So Josh and Shannon going to get to hang out with them a little later today. But I said, man, you guys got to meet Hunter. He's doing trucking, something you do.
Yep.
And as soon as you guys met, you were like, I already use you guys.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. How do you use First and how they've been valuable to your agency?
First Insurance has been great. I mean, anybody who does trucking knows that it's really, really tough to get a monoline general liability option. First Insurance can get it knocked out in like 5 minutes. And some of the part of the reason that like I'll go do a monoline general liability option is some of the carriers will offer general liability for, let's say it's called $500, but then you go get it through somebody else. Now you get the bundle discount on some of the carriers, and they'll save like $3,000, where you can go get for the same price at First Insurance. So you just saved like a couple grand on the package, but then you're paying the exact same premium for the GL just elsewhere.
Right.
It's so strange how that works out, but is there any reason you can't get the GL or you're going to save a bunch of money? First Insurance is slick, super easy, and they'll take truckers and all that, no problem.
So let me just back up so I make sure I understand. You have a one-man shop, one-man trucking unit, I'm assuming, shows up and says, I just need GL. Do they already have their auto somewhere else? Or how does that, how am I understanding that correctly?
Oh, I'm just saying like in our agency.
Okay.
Like you could have our, like I'm doing it right now, quoting a guy's auto, and the general liability for him is $1,500 with Progressive.
Okay.
But Progressive's for some reason saying if you general liability elsewhere, we'll lower down the premium $7,000. I'm like, and then you just got to send them proof that you have general liability.
Wait, so with let's use a hypothetical. Like how many trucks would you have? Like let's just use
This was 9 trucks.
Okay, so 9 trucks. If you have the GL and the auto with Progressive, the total cost would be roughly what?
$127.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so dude, that is insane. So
Yeah.
I mean, wow. So it's $127 if you have the GL and the auto with Progressive. But if you just had the comp and collision with Progressive and you put the you have the auto liability comp and collision with Progressive.
Yep.
But you put the GL with First.
Yep.
Like what would that chop your Progressive premium down to?
It went down to $120.
Okay, so you save $7,000.
Yep.
And then with First it
was like, shoot, I don't know, $1,500 or something.
okay, so it's a really good monoline option, and Progressive's cool with this.
Yeah. For whatever reason, because I've called them about this multiple times, they think that their general liability doesn't count as the bundle. So it's like asking on a homeowner's policy, do you have the auto through the agency? And so they ask this on Progressive, do you have general liability through the agency? Select yes, and then now you get that bundle discount. So
And First can do that because the GL on truckers isn't used that often. Now the auto, the auto is going to be used, especially if you are in a Midwest snowstorm like we've looked at up here, and you are in Wisconsin, you hit a bunch of cars, you just crushed all your limits.
Yeah.
But the GL is not even touched there, right?
I've never even seen a claim or heard of a claim on GL.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. And so for those listening, like a market like First, how do you access them?
Oh, I think you got to go through, well, I know you got to go through an MGA of some sort. So like you can go through First Connect. I think you can go through Appalachian Underwriters, Agentero, I think is the other one, like a First Connect competitor. Really any of those things that got like techie online MGAs where they have access to your techie insurance companies like First Insurance.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow. So what have you put in place now to try to build up your team? You're doing the MCIF classes for people. Do you have like ongoing training they have to go to, or do the carriers provide anything, or do you just teach internally?
Oh, I mean, we put them through pretty rigorous training when they get onboarded. Everybody within the first year of our agency is required to get some sort of certificate, or destination, whatever you call them there. But that's the first year there, and then after that, I really just try to push people to, hey, I think this would be the next step for you out here. Let's get you another certificate. Let's have you work on this deal here. We go to safety classes that the South Dakota Trucking Association puts on. So me and a couple other agents will go to those every single month. Any webinars, anything on those lines. But we're very active in the associations. I think that's been kind of the continuous training we've been doing.
Okay.
Yep.
What do you do to, like, personally, like when you're outside of work, like what do you do for fun? How do you unwind? How do you recharge your battery so you can keep working harder when you get back to the office?
Yeah, right now I wish I had more time outside of work. Just bought another agency. We just hired somebody else like a month ago. I mean, it's been for the last couple months. It's been pretty dang busy. But if it's summertime, I'm going fishing all day, every day. I'm going fishing. I love bass fishing. Love going fishing for northern muskie, anything like that. working out, taking the dog on the walk. Me and my brother love watching movies. So he's in college, so me and him live together. So me and him will go hit a movie every chance we get. And I'd say that's a good chunk of it. I spend a lot of time with my brother.
Right on, man. That's cool to have a good relationship with your bro. Any movie recommendations for us? Don't say Twilight, Hunter. No, don't do it.
Not saying anything on those lines there. Gosh, I mean, I want to go see the new Tron. I love Tron. When that came out, that was pretty dang good. I'm just trying to think here. There's a pretty good horror movie that just came out. I don't know. I heard a lot of people did not like this, but I can't even think of the name of it. But there's a new horror movie that just came out. That was dang good.
So you go watching movies. You do your own podcast, Midwest Trucking Insurance. Is that what it is? Okay.
Yep.
Do you like to listen to other podcasts? Do you have any favorite podcasters?
Oh man, I could get into quite a bit of these. The Insurance Guys podcast, 100% the best out there in my opinion. David Carruthers has the Power Producers podcast. David Carruthers is a freak when it comes to insurance. He does middle market. He talks about the cost of risk. I actually gave a presentation at the South Dakota Trucking Association based off of his theory on it. Or what, not his theory, but like what he talks about. James Jenkins had one. James Jenkins, you can listen to James Jenkins on anything though. Really, really good.
Sharp guy.
Yeah. Got a book out there called Leaving Captivity I've read. Scratch Agency podcast, if you guys are new, that's dang good.
Mm-hmm. Those guys are great.
Yes. Yo. That's about most of my listen to right now. Freight Waves if you're just trying to learn about trucking.
Yeah. So I have one more to throw in there. And potentially, as you're building your sales team, you think about hiring this guy. So one of the guys that I hired personally for me, I think 3 or 4 years ago, is a dude named Charles Specht. Now, his thing is getting calling to get an opportunity to work on big accounts. So he has think about this for just a second. You call a big trucking company from the Twin Cities, and they have 300 trucks, and they've got a good agent on the account.
Yep.
How are you going to give them an opportunity to talk to you and not go, dude, I've had an agent for 30 years that knows this stuff backward and forward. Essentially, they have a 55-year-old version of Hunter Nelson, who's their agent.
Yeah.
Charles's whole thing is how you develop what you're going to say to that prospect and how you avoid the pitfalls of prospecting. That's like my hobby horse, is how to get in and, like, for instance, you call somebody and they say, hello. Do you say, how are you today? Right?
Yep.
Or you say, yo, Hunter, my name's Brian. We do trucking insurance exclusively. I want to save you $200,000 on your insurance. Right? Like, What is the exact wording you'll use? So I actually credit Charles with one account that I wrote. Gosh, it could be $500,000 right now. I forget what the premium is. But I had called this guy, and because of his prodding, Charles's prodding, I sent this dude an email and said, hey, I think I'll save you $25,000. Can I please talk to your office manager? And he said, fine. For 25, you can. We ended up saving him like $70,000.
Jeez.
I had no idea. But I think that extra push from a coach, everybody needs a season of coaching. So, I mean, Power Producers, Carruthers, Scratch Agency, I mean, they're all great resources.
Yo. No, I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, however you get in it, I mean, there's not a whole lot on YouTube, but you can find something there. I mean, there's a good chunk of books. I mean, The Wedge, Leaving Captivity, David Carruthers got multiple books. Or just work, like you're saying, work on the consultant.
Yeah. Do you guys, have you ever considered doing a group like a Sitkins or one of those kind of like agent network groups? Because it sounds like you're engaged in trying to find those groups. Have you run into anybody you liked?
I guess I don't even know about those agent network groups. Maybe it's like, I'm part of the associations. I mean, I'm part of every association I can be part of. But what agent network groups are there out there?
Yeah, so they kind of ebb and flow. I think the reality is any group can only teach you for about a year or two everything they know. And then if you stay longer, you stay because you have good relationships.
Yeah.
So for instance, take Sitkins. I was actually part of 2 agencies, one in California, and then our agency in Idaho had used them. And what they did really well, like in the 90s and then early 2000s, is they would go to local agency owners. This is before a lot of the acquisitions happened. And they would say like, hey, Hunter, you have this really good account manager, but that account manager is working on like $1,000 bops. Mm-hmm. Take that account manager and have them work exclusively on your big accounts, then put all your bops in a service center or have them be worked on by somebody else. Because right now your margins are this, but if you make some changes, you can increase your margins by 10%.
Yeah.
So you're going like, well, hold on. I'm going to have to irritate people in the office. They don't want to make these changes. Maybe you have producers getting way too involved in the details. And you have to lay down a law saying producers can't get involved. So all these consultants will lay out rules. And sometimes people go, well, we already do some of those things. Other times folks go, dude, you're like a prophet from a foreign land teaching me things I didn't know. So I think their value proposition was, let's pretend your net income is 18% every year. Okay. We'll get it to 30. Well, if you're a business owner, you're going, man, if you could increase that, I'd be thrilled. My profit will go up. So I think that a guy like yourself could take time and just ask a bunch of agents, what's out there? What have you found to be beneficial? And there's probably plenty of opportunities, but it seems like the landscape shifting because so many agents are being acquired that now it's kind of we're kind of on unstable ground here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess I haven't been part of any of those networks or anything like that, but I chat with other agents every chance I get. I mean, I probably call another agent once every 2 weeks, just getting ideas on what's working well for them. I don't try to, overstep my boundaries and ask them anything too personal, but like, hey, like what, I just don't even know. I'm only been an agency owner for 3.5 years, so what's a benchmark that you have your CSRs managing?
Right.
And, some of the other stuff I use for that too is like the Big I best practice study, and then the National Alliance got their own deal too.
Yeah. So I think you and I might have a lot in common where some people want to just go like, oh, read a book or read something that a carrier put out, and it's a 50-page paper, which is full of good information. Mm-hmm. I'd rather call a friend and say, hey, 6 months ago, this information came out. What are you hearing? Are you utilizing this? Has this worked for you?
Yep.
Because I'm of the opinion that having a friend go, dude, don't even try it. It's horrible. Don't even look into it. It's just a waste of time. That saves me so much time not having to rush into something. Yeah. And you start to find that people will align on their opinions.
Yep. Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, everybody's doing stuff so much differently. So just hearing from them, seeing what they're doing, getting as many different opinions on the thing as you can is good.
So let's do this, Hunter. Let's shift into the non-insurance version of Hunter on podcasts. You're listening to podcasts that aren't insurance related. What are you listening to?
Oh,
don't get yourself in trouble, Hunter.
I don't know if there's much out there for non-insurance related podcasts. I don't read anything fiction. I don't listen to anything really fiction. I mean, I like real estate. That's probably my second favorite thing outside of like a work related, I suppose. Okay. I'm into real estate, so I'll listen to real estate podcast. I think Dave Ramsey's got one, so I'll listen to his stuff. I watch Alex Hormozy videos whenever I can there. Alex Hormozy's pretty dang good. Me and my brother love going to concerts, so if it's not a podcast, we're listening to music.
What's your last few concerts you've been to?
Let's see here. Travis Scott and The Weeknd. So, some rap there for sure. Jackson, my brother, loves rap music, which is just hilarious because he's a reserved kid. He's incredibly smart, but he's not a real loud, outgoing guy. And so when he gets these rap concerts, he lets loose, and it's just hilarious.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you've got. It sounds like you and your brother are close. So you're 21. How old's your bro?
19.
Oh, my goodness. Hunter. Yeah. Hunter. Oh, my. I might as well just check into a nursing home now. Hanging out with 21-year-olds. So when is your birthday?
January 26th. So coming up here.
Okay. So you're going to be 22 soon.
Yep.
So I am 42.
Yep.
And you're 21. So I'm twice your age. Oh, my gosh, Hunter. This is any advice, as we kind of land the plane here, any advice you would give to anyone trying to start an agency or just business in general? Like, what are your thoughts? What would you like to share?
Oh, I think you're gonna have to work like a dog for the first 3 years. Just no matter what. There hasn't been a week and I haven't worked in a while. I think learning from other people, seeing what they're doing for mistakes, seeing what's working well for other people has been a huge thing. So, I'm on the IAOA Facebook group chat, Insurance Soup, every single day. Listen to that stuff. I have a consultant, learn from what he's made for mistakes, hearing what he's doing. That's been incredibly helpful. I think two things that I've done kind of with my mindset that have worked out really well for me is just being extremely persistent. Some of the agents in the office give me crap for this too. We have some appointments that we should not have. And that's just come from me not taking no for an answer and saying, hey, if you give me a shot, I'll do this. And if it doesn't work out, we'll go to terminate the contract. We'll never talk again. And sure enough, did it and exceeded expectations. But it's working really hard to get that. And I also think too, just thinking everything is, I think just taking an extreme amount of accountability as an agency owner is what you got to do. I've hired a couple agents where they'll go on the phone and they think it's just a bad day to cold call. These leads are bad, or the situation's bad for me, whatever the case is. But when I went on door knocked with my buddies, I'd bring in twice as many leads as them because I'd get a no and I'd say, this is my fault. I got the no. How do I get a yes next time? And I keep adjusting my wording and my tone every single door knock. And by after 3 weeks, I was getting 20 leads a day, and they'd be coming back together with 11. And then I would try to teach them what to do, but it's all just because I'm putting all the blame myself in for everything, So if you're getting into just the new business and stuff's tough, just always just looking back, what can I do? It's I just don't like the idea of blaming your surroundings.
Right.
Which there's gonna be points where it's tough, but I think those are what's really helped me out quite a bit.
Well, Hunter, I love how much industriousness you show, and everything you just laid out there is the opposite of a victim mindset. So, not to sound like the old boomer here, but you are a man who is not surrounded by a lot of your peers in the Gen Z world. Although I hope there's more than I know about.
Yep.
But hey, congratulations on everything you've done at 21 years old, man. You are kicking some serious butt. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, appreciate it. Good talking with you.